Have you ever wondered if your refrigerator might actually be making some of your food worse instead of better? I'm not talking about food that's gone bad. I'm talking about perfectly good food that loses its flavor, nutrition, and even becomes harmful simply because we store it in the wrong place. Last month, my dear friend Martha, who just turned 72, called me in tears. She'd been feeling unusually tired and experiencing stomach problems for weeks. After a visit to her doctor, they discovered that some of her health issues were connected to how she was storing certain foods in her home. Foods she thought she was keeping fresh and safe were actually losing nutrients or even developing harmful compounds right in her refrigerator. What if I told you that after 60, our bodies process foods differently, and the storage mistakes that didn't affect us in our younger years could now be impacting our health in serious ways? Many of us learned food storage habits decades ago that science has since proven to be incorrect or even harmful. Today, I'm going to share with you 9 common foods that you should never refrigerate after 60. Some of these might surprise you. They certainly surprised me when I first learned about them. And please, stay until the end, because the final item on our list is something almost everyone stores incorrectly, and it could be silently affecting your health right now. Ready to discover what might be hiding in your refrigerator? Let's get started. Food number 1, honey. Have you been putting your honey in the refrigerator to keep it fresh? This is one mistake that might be costing you both flavor and health benefits. Let me tell you about Walter, a 68-year-old retired teacher who's been my neighbor for years. Walter has always used honey in his morning tea for its soothing properties. But recently, he mentioned how his refrigerated honey had crystallized into a thick, grainy mess that was nearly impossible to pour. Not only that, but he noticed the honey didn't seem to help his sore throat like it used to. Here's why this happens. When honey is refrigerated, the cold temperature speeds up the crystallization process, changing its texture completely. This doesn't just make it harder to use, it actually alters some of the beneficial properties. You see, honey naturally contains enzymes and antioxidants that support immune function, something particularly important for us as we age. Natural honey also has antimicrobial properties that make refrigeration completely unnecessary. In fact, archaeologists have found honey in ancient Egyptian tombs that was still preserved after thousands of years. The natural composition of honey prevents bacterial growth, making it one of the few foods that never truly expires. The solution is simple. Store your honey at room temperature in your pantry or cupboard, away from direct sunlight. If your honey does crystallize, simply place the container in warm water, not hot, for a few minutes to restore its liquid form without damaging its beneficial properties. For those of us over 60, properly stored honey can be especially beneficial for seasonal allergies, soothing coughs, and providing natural energy. Some studies even suggest that local honey might help build immunity to local pollens, something many of us could benefit from. Remember that dark amber honey typically contains more antioxidants than lighter varieties, which can help fight inflammation that commonly increases as we age. Consider switching to darker honey varieties for their enhanced health benefits. Have you ever noticed your honey turning solid in the refrigerator? Or perhaps you have a special way you like to use honey for your health? Share your experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear how honey has been part of your life. If you are still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment food number 1 below to let me know you are here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Food number 2, tomatoes. Next on our list is a summer favorite that loses its magic in the cold. Tomatoes. My friend Doris, who just celebrated her 65th birthday, takes great pride in her garden. Last summer, she harvested a beautiful batch of tomatoes and immediately put them in the refrigerator to keep them fresh. When she served them in a salad the next day, everyone noticed how bland and mealy they tasted. What went wrong with those beautiful garden tomatoes? The science behind this is fascinating. When tomatoes are stored below 55 degrees, their flavor-producing enzymes shut down completely. Not only that, but the cold temperature actually breaks down the delicate cell walls inside the tomato, giving it that mealy, mushy texture we all dislike. Studies show that refrigerated tomatoes can lose up to 30% of their flavor compounds and important nutrients like vitamin C. This is particularly important for seniors because tomatoes are rich in lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that's been linked to heart health, reduced cancer risk, and even protection against sun damage. As we age, these protective nutrients become even more crucial for our well-being. The better solution is to store your tomatoes stem side down on the counter at room temperature, away from direct sunlight. This position helps prevent air from entering and moisture from exiting the scar where the stem once connected to the vine. Perfectly ripe tomatoes will last up to a week this way. If you find yourself with too many ripe tomatoes, instead of refrigerating them, consider roasting and freezing them or making a simple sauce. These methods preserve both flavor and nutrition much better than refrigeration. For those managing arthritis or inflammation issues, common after 60, properly stored tomatoes provide maximum lycopene content, which has anti-inflammatory properties. Some studies suggest that just 10 tablespoons of tomato sauce weekly can significantly reduce inflammation markers in the body. Here's a tip that changed my life. If you must refrigerate tomatoes because they're overripe, bring them back to room temperature before eating. This helps restore some of their flavor, though not all of their nutritional benefits. Has anyone else noticed how different garden tomatoes taste compared to store-bought ones that have been refrigerated? Or do you have a special way to store your summer tomato harvest? Type tomato in the comments if you've ever been disappointed by a refrigerated tomato. Food number 3, bread. Remember the days when our mothers and grandmothers kept bread in bread boxes rather than the refrigerator? It turns out they were onto something important that many of us have forgotten. Jack, a 74-year-old friend from my community center, complained that his refrigerated bread was always dry and tasted stale, even though it wasn't. He thought keeping bread cold would make it last longer, but instead, he found himself throwing away half loaves because no one wanted to eat them. Here's the scientific explanation. When bread goes into the refrigerator, the cold temperature causes the starch molecules to crystallize more rapidly, a process called retrogradation. This makes bread go stale up to 6 times faster than if left at room temperature. What's more, the dry environment of the refrigerator pulls moisture from the bread, leaving it dehydrated and unappetizing. For seniors, this isn't just about taste. Dry, hard bread can be difficult to chew for those with dental issues or dentures, a common concern after 60. Additionally, when bread becomes unpalatable, we might miss out on the fiber and B vitamins it provides, nutrients that become increasingly important as we age. The better approach is to keep bread at room temperature in a bread box or paper bag, not plastic, which traps moisture and can lead to mold. If you won't use the bread within 2 to 3 days, the freezer, not the refrigerator, is your friend. Freezing bread stops the staling process entirely, rather than accelerating it. When you're ready to use frozen bread, thawing a slice or two at room temperature takes just minutes, or give it a quick toast for immediate use. This way, you'll always have fresh-tasting bread without waste. For those of us watching blood sugar levels, common after 60, properly stored whole grain bread provides steady energy without the spike that can come from processed alternatives. And those beneficial whole grains maintain their nutritional profile better when stored correctly. I've started slicing my bread before freezing it so I can take out just what I need. This simple change has eliminated waste and ensured I always have fresh-tasting bread on hand. Have you noticed how refrigerated bread loses its appeal? Or perhaps your family had traditional ways of keeping bread fresh. Share your bread storage memories or questions in the comments below. Food number 4, potatoes. Let's talk about a staple in many of our homes, potatoes. If you've been refrigerating them, you might be creating a health risk you never knew about. Eleanor, my 70-year-old sister-in-law, always kept her potatoes in the crisper drawer of her refrigerator until her doctor discovered her blood sugar was unusually high during a routine checkup. When they discussed her diet, they uncovered a surprising culprit: her refrigerated potatoes. When potatoes are stored below 40 degrees, something alarming happens. Their starch begins converting to sugar, which not only affects their taste and texture, but also leads to higher levels of a compound called acrylamide when the potatoes are cooked. Acrylamide has been linked to increased cancer risk, particularly concerning for those of us in our golden years, when cell repair mechanisms aren't as efficient as they once were. Beyond these health concerns, cold temperatures cause potatoes to develop an unpleasantly sweet taste and dark coloration when cooked. You might have noticed this if you've ever fried refrigerated potatoes and found they brown too quickly and taste off. For seniors managing conditions like diabetes or prediabetes, which affects nearly 1 in 3 people over 65, these extra sugars in refrigerated potatoes can cause unexpected blood sugar spikes, complicating health management. The proper way to store potatoes is in a cool, dark place with good air circulation. A basket in a pantry or cupboard away from the stove works well. Importantly, keep potatoes away from onions, which release gases that cause potatoes to sprout more quickly. Storage temperatures between 45 or 50 degrees are ideal, cooler than room temperature but warmer than refrigeration. If stored properly, potatoes can last for weeks or even months. Look for potatoes with unblemished skin and no green spots or sprouts at purchase, as these will store longer. And remember, if potatoes do develop sprouts during storage, it's safe to remove the sprouts and use the potatoes as long as they're not soft or shriveled. For those with arthritis who might struggle with heavy bags, consider transferring potatoes to a basket when you get home, rather than leaving them in the plastic bag, which traps moisture and speeds spoilage. A 2018 study found that properly stored potatoes retain up to 90% more vitamin C than refrigerated ones after just 1 week. And vitamin C becomes increasingly important for immune function and skin health as we age.
Have you noticed your potatoes turning sweet or dark when cooked? That might be a sign they've been stored too cold.
Type potato in the comments if you've been keeping yours in the refrigerator. You're definitely not alone, and making this change could benefit your health. Food number 5, onion. Now let's talk about onions. A flavorful foundation for so many of our favorite recipes, but one that suffers greatly in the refrigerator. My friend Gerald, a 77-year-old who loves cooking for his grandchildren, when they visit, couldn't figure out why his famous onion soup had started tasting bitter and causing more tears during preparation. When I visited his home, I noticed his onions sitting in the refrigerator door. Mystery solved. When onions are refrigerated, the cold, humid environment causes them to become mushy and develop mold much faster due to absorbed moisture. Even more concerning, refrigerated onions can actually absorb odors and bacteria from other foods in your refrigerator, potentially exposing you to foodborne illness, which can be more dangerous for us as our immune systems naturally become less robust with age. The science is clear. Onions contain compounds called thiosulfonates that are responsible for both their distinctive flavor and health benefits. When exposed to cold and moisture in the refrigerator, these compounds break down rapidly, reducing both taste and nutritional value. Studies show that properly stored onions retain nearly 3 times more of their beneficial antioxidants compared to refrigerated ones. This matters especially after 60, because onions contain quercetin, a powerful flavonoid that research suggests may help reduce inflammation, lower blood pressure, and even protect brain health, all priorities as we age. By refrigerating onions, you're diminishing these valuable properties. The solution is simple. Store whole onions in a cool, dry place with good ventilation. A mesh bag, basket, or even clean pantyhose, an old trick my mother used, works perfectly. Make sure they're kept away from potatoes, as the gases onions emit can cause potatoes to sprout faster. A dark cabinet or pantry that stays between 45 or 55 degrees is ideal. One important exception: once an onion is cut, the exposed surface should be stored in the refrigerator in an airtight container to prevent bacterial growth. Even then, try to use it within 2 to 3 days for best flavor and safety. For those managing high blood pressure or heart concerns, common after 60, properly stored onions provide maximum benefit from sulfur compounds that research suggests may help reduce cholesterol and improve blood vessel function. I've started keeping my onions in a hanging wire basket in my pantry, which provides the perfect amount of air circulation to prevent moisture buildup. This simple change has made my onions last nearly 3 times longer. Have you noticed your refrigerated onions sprouting faster or causing more tears when chopped? Share your onion storage methods in the comments. I'd love to hear what works for you. Food number 6, coffee. If you're like many seniors I know, your morning cup of coffee isn't just a beverage, it's a ritual, a comfort, and sometimes the motivation to get out of bed. But storing your coffee beans or grounds in the refrigerator might be ruining the very experience you cherish. Take my friend Barbara, who's been enjoying her morning coffee for over 50 years. At 68, she complained that her coffee suddenly tasted off, flat, stale, and missing that wonderful aroma she loved. When I visited her home, I discovered her premium coffee sitting in the refrigerator door. She was shocked when I explained this was the problem. Coffee beans and grounds are surprisingly absorbent. They act like little sponges, soaking up moisture and odors from your refrigerator. Everything from last night's leftover fish to the onions we just discussed. This doesn't just affect the flavor, it actually triggers a process called oxidation that breaks down the natural oils in coffee responsible for both its wonderful aroma and its health benefits. For seniors, this matters beyond just taste. Recent research suggests coffee contains compounds that may help protect against cognitive decline, Parkinson's disease, and type 2 diabetes, conditions we become more susceptible to after properly stored coffee preserves these beneficial compounds, while refrigerated coffee loses them rapidly. The National Coffee Association recommends storing coffee in an airtight, opaque container at room temperature, away from heat, moisture, and strong odors. A cabinet away from the stove, oven, and sink is perfect. This preserves the natural antioxidants in coffee that research suggests may help reduce inflammation, a key factor in many age-related conditions. If you buy coffee in bulk, which can be economical on a fixed income, store what you'll use within 1 to 2 weeks in your airtight container and freeze the rest in small sealed portions. When you need more coffee, move the frozen portion directly to your storage container. Don't let it thaw and then refreeze, as this creates moisture that damages the coffee. For those with acid reflux or sensitive stomachs, increasingly common as we age, properly stored coffee maintains the balanced oils that make it less likely to cause digestive discomfort compared to coffee that has started breaking down due to improper storage. I've switched to buying smaller amounts of coffee more frequently and keeping it in a ceramic canister with a rubber seal. The difference in flavor is remarkable, and I've actually ended up saving money because I enjoy every last scoop rather than throwing stale coffee away.
Are you storing your coffee in the refrigerator?
Type coffee in the comments if you're going to make this simple change that could bring back the full flavor and benefits of your morning ritual. If you are still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment food number 6 below to let me know you are here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Food number 7, olive oil. Many of us have embraced olive oil as part of a heart-healthy diet. But if you've been keeping your bottle in the refrigerator, you might be undermining both its flavor and health benefits. My friend Thomas, a 73-year-old who switched to olive oil after his doctor recommended a Mediterranean diet, was frustrated when his refrigerated oil turned cloudy and thick. Even worse, when he used it in cooking, he noticed it had a bland taste, missing the fruity, peppery notes he initially enjoyed. When olive oil is refrigerated, it begins to solidify and develop a cloudy appearance as its natural waxes and fatty acids harden in the cold. While this doesn't make the oil unsafe, it significantly impacts both its flavor profile and its pouring consistency. Every time you take it out and it warms up, then cool it again, you're accelerating oxidation, the process that eventually makes oil go rancid. For seniors, the health implications are significant. Olive oil is rich in polyphenols and monounsaturated fats that research suggests may help reduce inflammation, support heart health, and even protect brain function, all crucial as we age. However, studies show that improper storage can reduce these beneficial compounds by up to 40% within just a few weeks. The ideal storage solution is simple. Keep olive oil in a dark glass bottle or metal container. Light degrades olive oil quality at room temperature, away from heat sources like your stove. A cool cabinet away from the oven is perfect. Quality olive oil stored properly can maintain its benefits for up to 2 years from bottling. Check the date on your bottle. If you live in an extremely hot climate without air conditioning where your home regularly exceeds 85 degrees, refrigeration might occasionally be necessary. In this case, bring the oil to room temperature before using it. This restores proper texture and helps you taste its full flavor profile. For those managing cholesterol or heart concerns, priorities for many of us over 60, properly stored olive oil maintains its full complement of beneficial plant sterols that research suggests may help reduce LDL bad cholesterol levels. I've started buying smaller bottles of higher quality olive oil rather than large containers, ensuring I use it while it's at its peak of flavor and nutritional benefit. The rich taste means I actually use less, making it economical despite the initial higher cost per ounce. Have you noticed your olive oil becoming cloudy in the refrigerator? Or perhaps you have a special olive oil you save for special recipes. Share your experiences in the comments. I'd love to hear how you use this wonderful food in your cooking. Food number 8, garlic. Let's talk about a kitchen staple many of us use for both flavor and health benefits, garlic. If you've been refrigerating your garlic bulbs, you might be creating the perfect environment for a hidden danger. Irene, a vibrant 81-year-old who credits garlic as one of her health secrets, called me confused about why her refrigerated garlic was sprouting, turning an odd blue-green color, and developing soft spots. She was even more concerned when she learned these changes weren't just cosmetic but potentially harmful. When garlic is stored in the cold, humid environment of a refrigerator, it begins to sprout much faster than it would at room temperature. But the bigger concern is that the moisture in the refrigerator can lead to the growth of Clostridium botulinum, the bacteria that produces dangerous botulism toxins. While rare, botulism is particularly dangerous for seniors, as our immune systems become less effective at fighting such infections. Additionally, refrigerated garlic often becomes rubbery and loses its firm texture, making it difficult to peel and chop, an important consideration for those of us who might have arthritis or decreased hand strength. The cold temperature also triggers the conversion of garlic's natural sugars, giving it a bitter taste and diminishing its health-promoting compounds. Those health compounds matter tremendously after 60. Garlic contains allicin and other sulfur compounds that research suggests may help reduce blood pressure, improve cholesterol profiles, and even enhance immune function, all increasingly important as we age. Studies show that properly stored garlic maintains up to 4 times more active compounds than garlic improperly stored in the refrigerator. The solution is simple. Store garlic bulbs in a dry, well-ventilated container at room temperature, away from direct sunlight. A ceramic garlic keeper with ventilation holes, a paper bag, or even a mesh basket works perfectly. In these conditions, garlic can stay fresh for up to 2 months. One exception: once garlic is peeled or chopped, it should be stored in the refrigerator in an airtight container and used within a week for both safety and maximum flavor. Alternatively, you can chop garlic and freeze it in olive oil in ice cube trays, a convenient solution for those who find chopping difficult or want to have pre-measured portions ready for cooking. For those managing high blood pressure or heart disease, common concerns after 60, properly stored garlic provides maximum benefit from its natural compounds that research suggests may help dilate blood vessels and improve circulation. I've started keeping my garlic in a terracotta garlic keeper that absorbs any excess moisture while allowing air circulation. My garlic now stays fresh, nearly twice as long. Have you noticed your refrigerated garlic sprouting or changing color? Type garlic in the comments if you've been storing it in the refrigerator. This simple change could benefit both your meals and your health. Food number 9, medications. For our final and perhaps most important item, we need to talk about something many people store in the refrigerator by mistake, with potentially serious consequences: certain medications. This one hits close to home. My dear friend Richard, who's 75, was hospitalized last year after his diabetes medication seemed to stop working effectively. During his recovery, the doctor asked where he stored his insulin. When Richard mentioned he kept it in the refrigerator door, the doctor immediately identified the problem. While some medications do require refrigeration, and those will be clearly marked, many common prescriptions are actually damaged by the cold and moisture in your refrigerator. The refrigerator door, in particular, exposes medications to temperature fluctuations every time you open it, potentially reducing their effectiveness by 20–30%, according to pharmaceutical research. For seniors who often manage multiple medications, this is critically important. Medication effectiveness can literally be a matter of life and death. Blood thinners, heart medications, diabetes treatments, and many other prescriptions seniors commonly take can become less effective or even dangerous when improperly stored. The bathroom medicine cabinet, another common storage location, can be just as problematic due to the heat and humidity from showers. The best place for most medications is a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight and out of reach of children or grandchildren who might visit. The kitchen cabinet away from the stove and sink, or a bedroom drawer, often works well. Always check with your pharmacist about the specific storage requirements for each of your medications. They can provide clear guidance on which, if any, of your prescriptions should be refrigerated. Medications that commonly do require refrigeration include certain insulins, some liquid antibiotics, and specific eye drops. But never assume refrigeration is beneficial without confirmation. For those managing chronic conditions, which many of us are after 60, properly stored medications maintain their full potency throughout their shelf life. This consistency is crucial for conditions like heart disease, diabetes, and hypertension, where even small variations in medication effectiveness can impact health outcomes. I now keep a small basket in my bedroom drawer specifically for daily medications, with a separate, clearly marked container in the refrigerator, only for those few prescriptions that genuinely require cold storage. This system helps me avoid mistakes and ensures my medications work as intended. Has your doctor or pharmacist ever discussed medication storage with you? This often overlooked aspect of health management could be affecting your treatment outcomes. Type medications in the comments if you're going to check your storage methods after watching this video. As we've learned today, simple storage habits we've carried through life might need updating as we enter our golden years. The foods we just discussed, honey, tomatoes, bread, potatoes, onions, coffee, olive oil, garlic, and medications, all deserve better than refrigeration. By making these simple changes, you're not just preserving flavor, you're maximizing nutrition, saving money, and in some cases, protecting yourself from potential health risks. The wisdom that comes with our years should include adapting as we learn new information. I'd love to know which of these surprised you the most. Was there one food you've been refrigerating all your life that you never realized should be stored differently? Or perhaps you have traditional storage methods passed down in your family that science now confirms were right all along. Your experiences and knowledge are valuable. Please share them in the comments below. If you found this information helpful, please consider giving this video a thumbs up. It helps others like us find this important information. And if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, I'd be honored if you'd join our community of seniors who are committed to living their best, healthiest lives. Next week, we'll be talking about simple exercises that can help improve balance and prevent falls, a topic I know many of you have asked about. Until then, take a moment to check your kitchen and medicine cabinet. Make these simple storage changes and enjoy the improved flavor and benefits of your properly stored foods. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Here's to making small changes that bring big improvements to our health and happiness.